Hey guys, my name is George Schlackick, and you might be wondering, how is this truck of mine coming along? See, when I show you videos, oftentimes they have been pre-recorded as I was doing the work, and I don't always have the time to edit the video right away, so then it could take several weeks before you actually see what I'm up to. And so I thought I'd make a video and show you or tell you about where this project stands right now. My pickup truck that I used to use for work, it was stolen on October 8th, 2022. I'll never forget that day. It didn't seem real at the time. It seemed like this can't be happening. And for the longest time, I wasn't ready to take on any major project, anything at all. I was just kind of destroyed because I had been counting on this truck to be my tool, my transportation for my business for the next 10 years or so. And then probably I was going to slow down and I wouldn't need it anymore, something like that. But yeah, then it just disappeared. I had this truck for over 9 years. You know, it was reliable. It was totally sufficient for what I was doing. Sometimes I had more stuff in it than it should have ever been, because when you're in the handyman business, you do a variety of jobs that is huge. One day you might install a screen door. The next door, you're fixing somebody's fence or you're building a set of front steps. So all of these jobs require different kinds of tools. And, well, sometimes when you're busy, it just stays in there. Now, after the truck got stolen, what did I do to keep going? Some of you will already know I've been using the car. I've been using our Ford Focus, which is really not ideal, and it's been a struggle. But you know, there are certain jobs where you could just get away with it for a while, you know, and you don't need to transport anything big. But however, I've transported 2x4s full length. I've transported screen doors. What else? You name it. When it comes up, things go through my head. What do I need? What do I have to haul? Sometimes I can tell the homeowner the job is for, well, I don't have transportation for this material. You're going to have to get it yourself. And even that works at times, you know, but still I don't have a miter saw. I don't have all of my plumbing tools basically haven't been replaced. So there's a lot of stuff that I can't do or I won't do at this point. And some of it is jobs that I used to do all the time and I like. And there goes a good chunk of my potential income. Now, that's probably the biggest reason why I decided to get another truck. If I would have looked even just a year ago on Kijiji or on Marketplace for a used pickup truck, I mean, the stuff that I saw there, it was just as bad as this one was, and it would have been impossible for me mentally to get my head around a job like that. Now, after our trip to Mexico this winter, when I had a lot of time to think about this, and well, I have to think about the future because without a truck, I can't really do my handyman work long term. But, well, I had ideas. I had ideas for doing YouTube full time, getting more strategic, getting more, like I also fly drones and I do this for money. However, business hasn't materialized in the way that I was hoping. And so I am back probably doing the full-time handyman stuff whenever I can. It's hardly a full-time thing right now. I'm also on a bit of a pension, but that one doesn't pay the bills. So this is why I'm building this truck. After we came back from Mexico, I finally jumped into this. And I looked at so many different trucks on Marketplace, and this one looked like one of the better ones. I managed to get it for what I thought was a fair price. And then I got started working on it. So how far has it come? Well, when I showed you how I unlocked the door, this is actually a big deal at first, because when I first received this truck, when I first had it, there was no key to the truck. They got lost. The seller told me, well, they got lost. I think I might have an idea why, because he mentioned some kids. There are all kinds of things I'm finding out. Well, the truck was already running and driving, and so the basic major stuff on it seems to be all right. I showed you a video recently how I opened up the transmission and there were 2 bolts missing on the low and reverse servo. Well, yeah, by now it's been resolved, but I'm still going to show you the video about what I ended up doing, and there's still going to be a video because I'm still working on this transmission. But again, it's not major stuff. What happened is that it was leaking through the yoke of the drive shaft, and well, a whole bunch of research revealed that there are some yokes that have a vent hole, and then in that case the transmission output shaft would have a cup with an O-ring so it wouldn't leak through that hole. Well, mine happens to be a different transmission, but it's got that yoke, so you know that parts have been swapped. And well, this is 35 years old, guys, so this is kind of normal for a 35-year-old truck. I don't know, do we need to go around the truck, or what I need to, like the interior, haven't done anything in for a while because this is probably the last thing that needs to be done. The reason I did the carpet at first is because I cleaned out the cab. It was so filthy. Well, the floor wasn't that great, so I did something to protect it from rust. And that's when I thought, well, I have to do this carpet at the same time. Now it looks not that great. What I got here is an air filter in the box still. It's because I bought an air filter for this that fits this air filter housing that somebody put in here, or yeah, it was converted from gasoline to dual fuel system, gasoline propane. I'm converting it back just to gas for now. The propane system, eventually I might rebuild it, but the parts for it aren't cheap and there's a lot of work in that. So the priority right now is just to get the truck going. I mean, we're a few months have gone by and I'm still not there. So where is it at right now, you might wonder? What's the projects I'm working on right now? See, when I first got this, my idea was do one thing at a time. But that wasn't considering how one thing leads to another, leads to another, leads to another. A lot of the systems are interconnected, and then once you're digging around in one spot of the truck, well, then all of a sudden you find yourself discovering something, and then you want to take care of it right away. And you know, it's easier to do while this other part is removed, and that's how it goes. Well, the most recent project is, there are 2. I fixed the exhaust pipe in the front. There's a Y pipe. And then where there should be probably a catalytic converter, well, there's a rusty pipe there, but it's not damaged. So due to budget concerns and stuff, that's going to stay there. The catalytics, well, they're more strict here with the newer vehicles. There are no emissions tests in Alberta. It's not part of the safety inspections. So I'm just going to throw in a new muffler so I can connect my tailpipe to it. And yeah, the tailpipe's already hanging, but right now it's not lining up just as nice as it should. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Yeah, as you can see, the back of the truck looks like a hell of a mess. But let's look at the muffler first, then we'll take a walk around. I shouldn't have said muffler because we're looking at the tailpipe. This tailpipe's hanging there, but the way it is hanging right now, I don't know if you can see that from back here, it doesn't exactly line up the way it should, at least not with the muffler that I got. That's going to require a little bit of tweaking still. What you see there, that's what I left there last night. That's a cross member for the transmission mount. Got a transmission mount on order, and the reason for that is, see, there's the transmission. I put a plate on there that's plastic just to make sure no debris is going in there while it's sitting like that. The tail housing has been removed. It's propped up with a jack stand. You see that hole, how irregularly shaped it is? That's why I got this. Yeah, that cross member was 35 bucks and it's like new. And I got the hangers and for the exhaust pipe and a cap for my air cleaner at the same time. No extra charge. So this Junkyard, iPull-uPull in Edmonton, it's amazing. I really got a lot of stuff from there and a great help. This is the old transmission mount, and it was actually a hell of a job to find the one that's supposed to fit there. But it is on order. Gonna have it pretty soon. Yeah, actually tomorrow I'm gonna pick it up after I finish a job nearby there. I'm going in the backyard because I want to show you, there's going to be a video coming up about this contraption. I don't know if you can tell what this is, but it's a hydraulic press. I built it from junk. It's not perfect. Still needs this swapped out because it's too rotted. Tail housing of the transmission. Not sure where I kept it. Yeah, I found it. See, this is the yoke. That's what I needed the hydraulic press for, and see, it's yeah, it would probably vibrate a bit. The seal wasn't leaking, which was because somebody already changed it, but you can see the wear on the bushing when you look closely. So I got this bushing on order too, and the gasket and the seal comes as a kit. In the United States, you can buy that for 17 bucks from Summit Racing. In Canada, you can do the same thing, and it is $24 Canadian versus the 17 American. But then you have to add $36 for shipping and taxes and all this good stuff. So by the time it gets here, it's $66. That's the problem with buying certain parts in Canada. You just can't find them locally, so you have to go to the United States. And for us, being paid in Canadian dollars, it's always a big deal. It's more expensive. See that pinhole in the middle there? It looks like it's been put there intentionally. And when I look at it closely, I can't really be sure. But yeah, the latest situation was that my transmission was leaking through that pinhole, and it wasn't just a little bit, it was substantial. So I have to plug this hole or order a different yoke, but you know, I think that one's still fine as long as I plug that hole. Here's a little junk corner, but this is actually the air cleaner that I'm going to install there. It's got the routing with the, you know, where it comes in through the fender, the tube. It's over there. All right, let's lock up the shed. I'll get the car key and I'll show you the muffler too and the parts that I got for it so far. This is a Walker muffler. It's fairly cheap. Aluminized steel. It's not the stainless. This was $54. The stainless goes into the hundreds. Got an adapter here because this ending, see, I still need another strap clamp. I got one of them here, that's for the front. These are really good seals, but they're also more expensive than the regular muffler clamps, which I have also. I have enough just in case, but you know how it is with exhaust. It doesn't always go in just perfect. Can't make a video like this without looking under the hood. The propane air filter is still in there. The reason I want to change it is because it's probably not going to be that great in cold weather. The cooling system has been completely done. There'll be a video coming up about that. Only thing I haven't done is the water pump, which appears to be fine. See, there have been parts changed here. You can see the label on this radiator hose still. And the radiator, it's been changed at some point. There's the new brake lines. Seem to be working just fine. The shocks in the front still need to be changed. The suspension and steering linkage has been overhauled. I got panels for these parts. Planning on putting them in with JB Weld. So guys, as you can see, it's still like a big work in progress. I still have to get, yeah, that's another thing that wasn't as good as I thought it was. The parking brake was getting stuck when I was applying it after I did the brakes, so I still got to take care of that. I got to take care of all the rear lights. I got a horn from the Junkyard that I have to install. Hopefully that'll make this functional, because this feels kind of weird, spongy. I have an Alpine radio here that I'll probably throw out because there's a Delco radio in there already. So yeah, when I bought this truck, I don't think I was grasping the full extent of this job, what it would take to put this back on the road. Normally this video should include another breakdown of all the parts that I have put in so far. I'll have to postpone that because right now there's stuff that I still have to add to the list that you know, it's been more than I bargained for, most definitely. I got sheet metal to fix the rocker panels, the cab corners, things like that. I'll be using some of the sheet metal from that fender I took off. You know, stuff gets recycled here. There's a lot you can do like that. I think mechanically this truck is coming close to being complete. It seems to be quite sound. But then how it's going to actually perform on the road, that's a whole nother story. Hopefully this thing will be ready for the 2-year anniversary of my other truck disappearing. That doesn't sound as ambitious as I was when I first started this project, but I think maybe it's a bit more realistic, and it's still no guarantee that it's gonna happen because the weather is a factor. I'm out here in the driveway. Work is a factor. Need to make money in order to have money to complete this. And once this is on the road, once this is reliable and it's working and everything, I got to pay for license and insurance, but then it should go all uphill from there. But I tell you, this year has been completely different from the way my years usually go. By now, we're at the end of summer almost. Well, I haven't really taken any major bike trips. I've done a few bike rides, but I like to do some overnight stuff. I haven't been on the river with the inflatable boat. Thankfully, Barbara and I took a trip, and we used that boat on some lakes. That was fun. But you know, in Alberta, the summer goes by awful fast. So on the one hand, you have to take advantage of the time when the weather is good to do whatever you can on this project. Whenever there's money available and time and parts are here, just throw it together. On the other hand, sometimes you just need to take a break from this. See, I've been doing paint. I painted my hood. I painted the side of the truck, you know, the top going to be blue, the middle going to be white, and the bottom's going to be black bed liner paint. So yeah, I've been doing that to get a break from some of the mechanical work. That's a good way to do it. But, you know, I'm still investing a whole summer in this truck, really. Is it worth it? Well, if you're trying to find a truck like this in really good condition, good luck. You're going to be paying 10 grand for it. Maybe more than that. I think from that perspective, it is definitely worth it. And also, when you pay 10 grand for a used pickup, or maybe say you invest 15 and you get a pickup that's in decent shape, well, they're usually later models and there's more stuff that you have to worry about that could break down. Electronics, air conditioner. The newer the truck, the more stuff has been added to it. Well, this is an old small block V8. They're some of the most reliable engines that you can find. Should it ever break down, or should there be any other concerns that reveal themselves later? Well, again, this is an easy engine to rebuild. It's been done probably a million times since these engines were put on the market, and usually with great success, and you can get hundreds of thousands of miles out of these. Now, this is always going to be an old truck. I'm aware of that. At 35 years of age, it's soon going to be a classic, and this one's going to have everything in functional order. So I think in the big picture, it's worth it. From day to day, sometimes I wonder what I'm doing. I'll be honest with you there. I'm wondering, what the hell was I thinking? But then when I consider the alternatives, they aren't any better, and most of them are actually quite worse. So that's the update, and yeah, feel free to ask me any questions about this truck. I mean, I'm not the only one doing this kind of stuff, and you know, I've been through most of the truck already, so maybe I can help you out. Other than that, just the usual, give me a thumbs up, and I appreciate if you're subscribed to my channel. Well, is this gonna be a permanent mechanics truck channel? The answer is no. But I also work on bicycles. I am a bit of a mechanic. I actually went through mechanic school in 1989, 1990, when these trucks were brand spanking new. I've pretty much been trained on all the systems that this truck has. So that's another reason for me to get an older truck, because I'm quite good with them. With the newer ones, I have to re-educate myself. And then there are some things that you can't just swap out without reprogramming stuff. So I didn't want to go there. Anyways, I'll see you in the next video.